What we do here is go back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our new edition of MU Overrated Vs Underrated. I'm your host, Tarrant Banks, and today's show we welcome our guests again, Darryl and Blake Denton. So Darryl and Blake, how's your days going?
Could be better. It's Tuesday.
Could be worse. It's Tuesday.
Okay, guys. So you ready for our first topic today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so today's show, our first topic is going to be professional wrestling, WWE, but also for you old school fans, WCW. WWE is a professional wrestling organization that provides entertainment for the fans and the world of class athletes for their athletics. The WWE has produced famous wrestlers like John Cena, The Undertaker, The Rock, and more. But for you old school fans out there, let's not forget about WCW. WCW was an iconic organization in the 90s that was able to compete with WWE during that decade. WCW included iconic wrestlers like Ric Flair, the greatest wrestling faction of all time, NWO, and my all-time favorite, Sting. So, do you guys think professional wrestling is overrated versus underrated?
I definitely think it is overrated because it's fake. It's so fake that all the famous professional wrestlers, they go on to be actors. For example, The Rock, he was a super famous wrestler. We know him more for his movies rather than his wrestling. John Cena, he's kind of taking that same route. So that should prove if they're such good actors off the canvas, wrestling canvas, whatever, how good of an actor are they on the canvas? And it's just a huge spectacle. Like, why do I have to listen to 30 different speeches before I actually get to see a wrestling match that only lasts 5 minutes? Like, why? And then, like, not even 30 different speeches, they be giving people platforms to talk, and then their matches aren't for another, like, 3 weeks. Like, what is all that? That's unnecessary, so it's overrated.
What about you,
I could not agree more. And the WCW, I didn't even know that was a thing. I only knew that for like Women Crush Wednesday or something.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, I never heard of that, so that's new. I'm actually a wrestler, so...
A real wrestler, by the way.
Yeah, like a real wrestler, not this fake stuff, so... When I see that and they're acting and everything, it kind of bothers me, so... I'm going to go with the overrated.
Well, I'm going to put you two guys down and say that professional wrestling is underrated. They have been quite essential for our culture today. All right, with their famous saying, like Ric Flair saying, woo, or John Cena doing this, or The Rock saying, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Like, come on, they pitch out great lines to talk smack to each other with. Like, and plus, they put on a great show right there. Like, that's what they're providing is great entertainment for us fans out there. And for me, Sting was very iconic for me. He's considered my favorite of all time. He wore all black. He was mysterious, and he also was the only wrestler to come from the rafters, come down in the rafters to the ring, carrying a baseball bat. Like, that is super dope. It's just like, and plus, they're great, man. Like, with all these finishers, like The Rock with the rock bottom, Kurt Angle with the angle slam, or even The Undertaker with the tombstone. Like, come on.
But the thing that pisses me off is, like, it's pretty much just a arena full of grown men watching a live soap opera. Like,
Also kids.
okay, cool, kids still watching a live soap opera, but then people want to talk crap about me because I love Grey's Anatomy. Like, it's the same thing. Y'all following the drama of the storyline. Like, it's the same thing. Like, you can't, like, that's a pot calling the kettle black, in my opinion. Like, you can't tell me you want to sit here and religiously watch these people every Monday, Wednesday, Friday night, whatever they come out, whatever, and just talk crap about each other, but then at the same hand, I'm a female because I like to watch Grey's Anatomy. It's not, I'm not buying it.
I will say, the one thing I do like about WWE is the RKO out of nowhere videos. Where
Yeah.
But other than
Watch
that, other than that, though.
Okay. Thank God I caught myself. Okay. But still, let me get back. Okay. So for your Grey's Anatomy comment, the reason why not a lot of people are into that because one, Grey's Anatomy is like super like drama. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but your wife is dying. Like, that's too much drama right there.
Here's WWE. I'm gonna tell you all the reasons why Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not a man. Number one, he's not me. Number two, he's not you. Number three, refer yourself to number one and two. Oh,
great right there, man. Like right there, eating all that right there. And then for your comment about the RKOs, they also produce great meme videos. Like hands down, one of my favorite meme videos is when Triple H and Randy Orton came out, but they used Steph Curry and Klay Thompson's faces for them. And then they were talking to the Shield, who they used Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Steven Adams. It was basically a meme for like KD betraying Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook and joining forces with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. It was just super funny right there to me. So that's why I feel like this is super underrated, because it's really been big in part for our culture throughout all these years.
It's just so corny.
It's trash.
So corny. Just holding there. I can't get away.
Right. I'm gonna jump on you, but I'm not gonna touch you. I'm gonna do this, and then oh man, oh god. Like I hate it.
All right. So sad to say, we gave the verdict 2-1 professional wrestling overrated. So now let's get to our next topic, and that is fantasy football. Fantasy football is an app that gets football fans involved with the game of football in a social way. And the popularity of fantasy football has risen every year as more people are joining the app and creating leagues with their friends and family and coworkers. And the most important part about the object of this app is to compete and have fun at the same time with the people that is involved. So, do you guys think fantasy football is overrated versus underrated?
Ooh. As a fan, I think it's underrated. Taking myself out of the situation, I think it's way overrated.
All right, fantasy football is super overrated, okay? Because it's just a bunch of grown men playing fantasy and playing, make believe, if you will, with teams that don't even exist, okay? That won't do them any good. Yeah, if you do fantasy football for money and like you win like a big championship thing, that I can respect because you're doing it for a goal. But people who do this just for fun, like that's so unnecessary. Like why? Why are you dedicating so many hours of your day, of your daily lives, okay, to looking up stats, to making trades, to doing all this other unnecessary stuff? Like you could be so productive. You could be doing so many other things with your life. You could read a book. You could be getting a promotion at work. But no, you're at work looking up fantasy football drafts. And oh my God, my player's injured. Let me try to make this trade real quick.
Wow.
Like he's not your player. He's not.
Do you play video games though?
I do.
Yeah, that's a fantasy too, isn't it?
Okay, that's cool, but I'm not sitting here. I don't play online. I don't do online gaming because I think that's too far. Like once you start, I think to a certain extent playing with people online is fun, but at the same time, it's like I just like playing the game. I just like playing the game for the story. That's it.
For the fantasized, made-up story, yeah.
Okay, fantasy. I also read fantasy books. Like that's cool too, but I'm not out here making fantasy fan fiction and stuff. Which is pretty much what you're doing with fantasy football. You're making fantasy fan fiction with the players. You're creating your own fictitious team, playing your own fictitious games, and yeah, I'm getting too heated about this.
Wow. Yeah. So if we want to calm you down,
Yeah, you're right.
All right, we can calm you down. So if I had to give a judgment for fantasy football, I think fantasy football is underrated, and my reasoning is that it's a way to get all people who in your league, like your friends, family members, or even coworkers together. To play together and have fun with it. Even though y'all competing for like potentially money or a title, you're still having fun at the end of the day. It still involves, potentially making trades, signing players or picking them up. But at the end of the day, you're having fun and competing with them. And plus, it's also fun to brag a win, especially if you're playing against someone who you don't like or just a friend in general to have.
Every time I play you.
Yeah. Not really, because I've been beating you this season. Just to let y'all know, we are in a fantasy league together, and we're actually in the playoffs against each other.
Are we really?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Yeah, breaking news, guys. Breaking news.
Also, Terrence is in 2 different fantasy leagues.
Whoa.
Fantasy football, Terrence is awesome.
Ooh.
Terrence is awesome at fantasy football.
Thank you.
He can't be beat. But schoolwork, I mean,
Whoa.
could use a little work. Could use a little focus.
Hold up. First of all, I am a good student, you guys, all right? I'm out here in the school putting up good work. Fantasy football is super underrated because this is something I'm pretty good at. There's probably other people out there that's pretty good at it. They want to be out here and start winning titles, start bragging to people saying, oh, I beat you.
Winning imaginary titles. imaginary.
Unless you want to buy like a $100 title, which, you know.
That I could respect.
Yeah, but not a lot of leagues have, you know, the money or the budget to get the titles. But yeah, just say that you got to win over there. Saying that you can beat anybody in your league. You're the king of the league, which I have been in the past 3 years. Just throwing out there.
All I'm saying is, if I made up a game and I made up the rules to that game, I'm pretty sure I would be the best at it too.
So, do we have anything left for fantasy football, guys?
It's overrated.
It's underrated.
I'll say it's underrated. So, we gave a judgment for fantasy football, and we say that fantasy football is 2-1 underrated. So, that is all the time we have for this edition of MU Overrated versus Underrated. What do you guys think about professional wrestling and fantasy football? Comment below if you think those topics are overrated versus underrated. And make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to MB Spartan Stream. And also, this will be the last episode of 2017 as we will be on break for winter. And we will also be back in 2018 with some great topics for you guys. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time on our next episode.